Hey, how's it going, YouTube? SirWithrow here, and today I'd like to tell you guys a little bit of story about my internet service provider. Now, my internet service provider's name is Windstream. It's DSL service, phone lines. Now, when I first moved to my house, I moved on. It's in a rural area, and my road's about 2 miles long, and I live probably about halfway down the road, probably about a mile and a half. And the first half of the road has internet through DSL, and the second half has none. And I lived right on the line. Now, my neighbors could get internet, but I never could get internet. So I would call the 800 number and set up an appointment, and they'd come out with their truck. And I remember the first time they came out with their truck, the service guy got out and looked everything over, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll hook you right up." So, he comes in the house and he installs the phone jack in the wall. Drills a big ass hole all the way through my wall, and then, he goes out to the pole, and I guess he's running wire. And then I get a knock on the door, and it's him. And he's like, "Come on outside, man. I need to show you something." So I go out there, and he's like, "Man, you can't get service. I'm sorry." So he pulls this big ass phone out and plugs it into the gray box at the bottom of the telephone pole and calls the operator. And she's like, "I'm sorry, you can't get internet." So, I'm bummed, whatever. He's drilled a hole in my wall. And he says he can't do nothing. So he just cuts his wires and leaves. Well, as time went on, I would call the 800 number and schedule these appointments. And the first few times they'd come out and they'd see what was up, and they'd just say, "Oh, well, I'm sorry, but we can't give it to you." Well, eventually, after enough times calling, they just stopped sending servicemen out. Nobody would come out. The lady on the phone would just say, "Sorry that you can't get it." Well, as time went on, Obama, I think, got elected, and he passed that stimulus bill. And in the stimulus bill, or something like that, I don't know if it was in the specific bill or not, but Windstream got $168 million to upgrade the infrastructure of people that live in rural areas. So as soon as I heard that, I called him on the phone. I was like, "Hey, what's up? I heard y'all got some money to hook me up." And the lady would be on the phone. She'd be like, "Yeah, we got you. You're in the your area is covered under the stimulus package." And it's like, "Hell yeah." So I was like, "When can you hook me up?" She's like, "It'll be like first quarter next year." So I had to wait like a year and almost 2 months. So you guessed it, the year and 2 months happened, and the last day of I had to wait. I called him on the phone. And the lady's like, "Yeah, we're sorry, but we have to extend it another 2 quarters." So when the 2 quarters was up, guess what? I called him. Lady on the phone said, "Oh, I'm sorry. We still ain't your schedule, but we still haven't got you a due date, or we're gonna have to push your due date back again." So long story short, after enough tries, eventually she said, "Well, we're not giving you any more due dates. We're just gonna put it to be, to be determined." So of course, that's kind of a bummer. So I started stopping on the side of the road and talking to the guys, and I'd see them on the poles and stuff. And there was always the same guy, and I would talk to him. He'd say, "Man, I don't know why you can't get service out there. You should be able to get it. All your neighbors have it." And my neighbors are getting like 6 megabits a second. So my neighbors are getting it, but I can't get it. Well, after stopping and stopping and stopping, 5 years go by. And then one day I stopped and talked to that same dude I've been talking to for years. And he's like, "I got some good news for you today." And I was like, "What's up?" And he said, "Well, our boss, the engineer of my department, passed away. And we got a new engineer, and maybe he'll fix your internet for you." I was like, "Hell yeah." He's like, "Here, I'll give you his phone number." So he gives me the guy's personal cell phone number. So I called him. He answered first try. And he's like, he asked me what my problem was. I explained it to him. He said, "Well, I'll be out tomorrow. Check it out." So the next day, I'm sitting there waiting for this guy to come, and I'm expecting a big work truck, with a bucket on it or whatnot. But no, this brand new Chevrolet truck, extended cab, pulls up my driveway, and I go outside, and he's got a suit and tie on, and he's like, "What's your problem?" I explained to him how my neighbor, which is like 100 yards away, has internet, but I can't get it. He's like, "Okay, I'll check it out for you." So I go back inside, and a few minutes later he comes knocking on the door. He's like, "Yeah, I think I figured out your problem and should have it fixed by the end of the week." And I was like, "End of the week, huh? It's been 5 years I've been trying to get the internet." And he shook his head, and the whole can't believe it story. So now the next day I get a call from this company. It was a contractor company. and they asked what would be a good time to come out. I told them as soon as possible. So anyway, they come out. It's a different company, mind you. And he comes out and he said, he looks things over and he's like, all right, I think I know what I have to do. So I go back inside and he's out there maybe 5-10 minutes at the most. And he, there's a little gray box at the bottom of the pole. It's about, I don't know, 2 foot tall, about 1 foot wide. And that's, he said, here's your problem right here. It's this gray box. And I said, what do you mean? And he explained it was something to do with this, the signal was coming down this side, the dead end of the road, or the side that didn't have no internet, was where my signal was coming from, and I needed my signal to come from this way. So he put the box in there, and my signal was coming from this way. About an hour job, and he left. So as soon as he leaves, I call Windstream up, and I'm trying to schedule the serviceman to come out to the house. And the lady on the phone's like, no, same story. You can't get it. So I explained to her what had happened, and the guy came out. She's like, oh, okay, so I'll schedule somebody for tomorrow. Well, the next day, the guy that had given me the engineer's phone number originally comes out to the house, and he's like, did they get you set up? And I was like, yeah, it's that little gray box. And he, he's like, oh, acting like he didn't know what the problem was the whole time, but, of course he did. Anyway, they run the wire to my house. Boom, got internet. So, after this long-winded story, what's the moral of the story? Is the United States, if you live in a rural area, you may as well forget getting internet. These companies, it's ridiculous. Even after they got $168 million from the government to fix people's internet, in my situation, nothing. They care less. You know as well as I do, they took the money, stuck it in their pocket. When that party that night, it's like, yes, what a bunch of dumbasses. So I think if any of you guys out there have Windstream, and you're like, in my situation, maybe we can all band together and get something done about this, because it's ridiculous. I do know if enough of us bitch about it, maybe something will happen. If you Google it, you'll see that they're getting money, even more money from the government to upgrade these rural areas, but it's never going to happen if we all don't band together and say something. But anyway, that's my story with my internet. If you guys have any similar story, feel free to leave a comment and tell me about it. Maybe we can get something done if we all band together. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe we're just screwed and just have to live with it. But until the next video, thanks for watching.